I'm gonna do is, we're looking at reading, the math reading scores. So we're not gonna, I'm just gonna kind of just show you like what I have to do for the program and show you the SMART goals. So I'm gonna share this with you now. And then just kind of give you an idea of like your kids who are on the bubble, like how you can, like what do they need to get to proficiency. So some of it's not that much and some of it is kind of, but it's just another way to look at it. I'm just gonna share this. This is a good thing where I'm still on JCPS. I don't have to like. I just sent it. So basically, I'm just going to kind of go over this document and. Okay, while we're still waiting, I'm just go ahead and start talking so we kind of. Okay, so basically what we're gonna do is I made a SMART goal for the third grade team because I'm doing this program called Meet Leaders, and it's gonna help me with leadership, you know, eventually if I decide to go into that. So the SMART goal that I came up with was for reading, and it was for math. So as when you guys took the test in December of 2022, 18% of your students were proficient in reading. So so we want to move that up. So basically what we're going to do is take the kids to the 18 and then the kids who are on the bubble. That's where I got the 31%. So we want to try to get 31% at proficiency. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. And so the rest of the kids who are at novice are 2 grade levels below, which is about 69%. We want to at least try to get them to where they're 3/4 of the way towards the end of the year. So like, we're not necessarily saying we're going to have them at proficiency, but we want to at least get them moved up as much as we can. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're going to look at the benchmark in March. We're going to look at, I know the cases are usually taken in February, but we'll just look at about end of February, early March. So we want to see if the proficiency rate goes from 18 to 25. So we're just going to kind of just see where you guys are at that time. And then when you take the next MAP test in April 2023, we're going to see if we're at 31%. So those are kind of the benchmarks to get there. Okay, so we can go to the next part. The next part is the student summary report. I highlighted where the third grade is. So basically, you guys, for growth, you showed the observed growth was 1%, but you were expecting to grow at 6%. So that's where that diamond is. You see where the diamond, that line is in the middle, that's where the 6, that's where you were supposed to go, but the blue part is where you were at. So that's gonna segue into the next part. Well, actually, okay, this is like your classes broke down. Like where I got the 18%, like, so like the on and above is where the 18% came from. The kids that are on the bubble are where the 13 to get the 31, and then the rest where the 50 kids are 69. So these are only the kids who actually, you probably have a few kids that didn't take the math test, they're not included in this, but these are the ones that are just been in the math. Okay. So this is the good news. Like at the end of the school year last year, Kennedy was at 11% proficient distinguished. You guys are at 13, so you are above that. So even though it's still not high, but we're getting, so that's the good news. Okay. Next, if you go down to your classes, so they're in alphabetical order, so Miss Clayton's first, and Miss Bawe, and then Miss Leach. So the green and the yellow are your proficient distinguished kids. So the ones that are in the yellow are the ones that are kind of your bubble kids. Those are the ones that, the 13%, put all together with all your classes. And I realized I left something downstairs. So I actually have the number. So for the most part, it has the kids growing at 4 points. So So if they stay at the 4 points, like, okay, let's just say, on your Miss Clayton, your Micah Spalding
Mhm.
at 196. So if they grow 4 points, they're still gonna stay at that apprentice. But if they grow maybe up to 5 or 6, they can go to proficiency. So it's kind of, I got those numbers for you guys. I just realized I left them downstairs. So I have the actual numbers so you can see like, okay, well, how can I push these kids? So you can get to that 31%. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay, so I did that work for you. But like I said, I'm sorry I don't have it, but I'll get it for you right after. I'll bring it up to you. And then also, I'm trying to think. And I like to line these up by order, because you know, like when you get these, they're like all over the place by alphabetical order. So this is another way to look at your students from top to bottom. So does this make sense, or do you guys have any questions of me? And I'm so sorry I don't have the data, but I do have it, but I just don't have it up here. I told you it's been a crazy morning.
No questions for me.
Does it make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. So, also, hold on, let me show, I do have this. Ms. Jones just actually gave me this. This is just FYI. So, like, you guys are in the yellow right here. So, for like your reading, this shows like your percentages of growth. So just to kind of just give you an idea, so we want to just try to, with the ones I have, maybe we could show where we can get that growth. And then also the ones that are in the red and the orange, I have what growth they need to get like that 3/4 too. So I have those numbers as well. So we just do the best we can.
So this is the,
So this is reading and math. So like this is the reading, like this is what the growth you guys have for the December 2022
okay.
individually. So just a FYI. And I literally just got that before I walked upstairs. That's why it's still in my hands. All right. So you guys have any other questions, thoughts, concerns?
I'm just so curious why we are so much so far on this graph, so far below.
So that's when we can, and we can do this another time. We can kind of look into the data a little bit deep, because that's just kind of a snapshot. So we will have to kind of look into it, like you can look into the quadrants and see, like what was it specifically, and like which areas, like was it literature or informational. So like I will be happy to do that with you guys. I know you guys have a lot to do this week.
I'm wondering if it's maybe because EL isn't aligned to like what we discovered when we took the math map, was that Bridges wasn't aligned with what they were supposed to know according to math.
Okay.
It was we had skipped over so many things.
And that's something to look into, you know, like,
So
yeah.
what we did was, when I was looking over, we all looked over shoulders and saw what questions they were getting. And so we skipped 2 units in Bridges to make sure the next time they take math, they're gonna be ready for
Right.
that again. But I'm wondering if EL's
EL's the same way. EL's the same way, because we're not, like I saw on Think Server, they're doing cause and effect. We haven't.
we have not done cause and effect at all.
So your kids are not gonna score well.
No.
So I mean, realistically.
So like the priority standards is not being covered in EL, the new EL
And that's
program.
something we probably need to look into.
I mean, maybe it is eventually, but if it
It'll be too
isn't,
late.
it won't reflect into our.
To the
Math
EL.
Hopefully it will reflect on the spring. So
Well-
what module, okay, let me
We're on
look up.
module 2,
Module
and
2.
I looked at the whole unit, the 14 lessons, and I don't see any of the priority, just the same, like central messages in there. There's no cause and effect, there's no theme, but we already did theme on our own. Because we
Right.
pulled that out ourselves and created a lesson.
So which module were you guys supposed to skip?
3.
3.
3, okay.
That's
So-
the Peter Pan.
Okay.
Is that like
I was just
study?
curious because, so I guess we can look ahead and see what's in module 4.
But module 4 may be even after math.
It is at the map.
And I'm sort of concerned about, how
Should you
much
like
of,
start that before?
and how much module 4 are they actually gonna get? I mean, should we skip parts of
Well, I was
module
looking,
2?
module 2, there's some parts we can skip if it's like repetitive, you know. some-
Because we're
there's
not
some
gonna
lessons.
get, we're gonna have a whole huge interruption of EL to get ready for the Kentucky State Assessment.
Yes, you're right. That's a good question.
Because I mean, what if we're supposed to hit things that are in module 4, yet we're doing the race questions for the writing, we're not getting
You're not
what-
getting the content you needed to
Right.
do well.
Right.
Makes sense. Okay, I'll look into that and see what I come up with. That's okay with you guys? All right, so you guys have anything else? Like I said, I know you guys have stuff.
No, those were my questions.
Okay.
I had questions I asked them.
That's okay. All right, well, thank you guys for your time.